Berarti keluarga kalau maksudnya di miskin kalau berarti jadi di Indonesia.
Hello, I'm Brigid Grauman. I'm going to introduce you to three people in Lviv in the Ukraine who deal with helping people who are survivors of trauma from the war. The first activity, their main activity, have been recovery camps for mothers and children, which they started in 2014. The second, more recent activity is a platform which is accessible to anyone across Ukraine, and adults, old people, women, and puts them in touch with a psychiatrist or a psychologist within 24 hours. The people who are sitting on this in this group include Maria, who deals with both the platform and the recovery camps, and Zoriana, who deals also with both and who has an overview of both these activities. And so here they are. So I would like to really start with Zoriana. And if you could tell me a bit about the recovery camps. I understand that there have been about 200 or more than 200 since 2014, since 2022.
I would like to start my speech with providing general information about recovery camp. So the main goal of the project Recovery Camp is to provide psycho-emotional rehabilitation to mothers and children who suffered from the war. And we've been implementing this project since 2022. We started in March, and we have already managed to provide psychological assistance to more than 8,000 people in Ukraine. And the Ukrainian Foundation Sincere Heart were the pioneers who have developed the method of providing psychological assistance within the framework of family camps. This method is unique and one of a kind in our country, and it helps us to attract the huge number of internally displaced persons and provide them qualitative psychological assistance within a short period of time.
Can I ask you a question? Is it
Sure.
open to people from all over the country? And do you have to make a big selection? How do you select people who can come to the camp?
We've got two formats of recovery camps: one day camp format and 6-day camp format. For 1-day camp format, we do not give preferences to any group of the Ukrainian society, because all children and mothers who have experienced just a slight anxiety connected with hiding in the bomb shelters, for example, can attend and receive their come back to carefree childhood. As for 6-day camps, this is more serious with us, and we give preferences to special layers of Ukrainian population. We give preferences to children and mothers who come from the cities where hostilities are taking place, or from the regions that are temporarily occupied, or for example, for children and mothers who lost their relatives.
So you're saying that it's mainly mothers and children from the east of the country, from the areas of Donbass and around there, or?
For the 6-day recovery camp, it is preferable, but it is not. But the possibility of other children coming to us is not excluded. Every child who has reached the age of 10 or above can participate in the camp, even separately from their parents, if the parents give their permission. For the younger children, we advise them to go through this recovery camp with their mothers.
And what is the approach that is taken with children and mothers who may be suffering from post-traumatic stress and anxiety and grief?
We have various approaches. Despite providing qualitative psychological assistance, which is provided by our psychologists and psychiatrists, we also involve them into entertaining activities. We've got animators, we provide art therapy, we also involve famous people.
Gestalt therapy. We also involve body-oriented therapy. We also involve art therapy and gaming therapy, different methods that are preferable for such traumas.
And I suppose that nowadays the thing that is done with children suffering from this kind of stress is that you try and teach them self-help methods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how to deal themselves when they're anguished or when they're feeling really bad, how to deal themselves with this anguish. Is that right?
Mhm. That's right. And by the way, we are cooperating with the company EQ Productions. They have created the new product. It is called Emotional Intelligence, and we also have EQ app kits where children can see their progress, can identify if they need psychological assistance themselves, because it
What is
also
this
involves
tool that you talked about that explains emotional intelligence? How does it work? I mean,
this is an application. You can download it from App Store. It is for people who want to check on their mental state every day. And it is also planned a cooperation of our UK program with the EQ app. So people who find signs of anxiety, who find themselves in acute stress condition, they can be connected directly to the psychologist from the platform you can.
via the app.
The app helps them to balance their mental state after our programs every day. It has different practical exercises based on different approaches. As I already said, it's art therapy, gestalt therapy, psychoanalysis too, where children and mothers can just listen to these exercises and do what is said in these exercises. There are different breath techniques, mind techniques, imaginating,
yeah.
and so on. Yes. And doing this every day after the camp, they help themselves to postpone their stable mental state that was made stable through our program.
And what do you find the most common manifestation of the trauma is in a child? What do you see the most often? Do you see depression or
most often we deal with the children who come to us and who can't even talk. For example, I can remember the story of a 4-year-old boy who came to the camp and he was silent. We thought he's not talking, but it turned out that he was so affected by the bombarding he survived from in Chernihiv that he was, the first time, we couldn't understand why his mother was crying when seeing him talking and laughing to the animator. And after that, we realized that her tears were connected to the situation, that he could barely talk and communicate his feelings. And now she saw the display of emotions, the fountain of emotions. And this touches our hearts, such stories, because they are so emotional, they are so personal, that we can see the signs of child's rehabilitation and to know that we are doing the right work.
Do you sometimes see fathers wanting to come with a child?
Actually, not yet. But if some fathers will give such a wish to come with their children, we are open for this.
And do you find that you have many more applications than you can handle? Do you have more people wanting to come to the camps than you can provide for?
Yeah, sure. A year ago, we started with just 1-day camps. We were making them once a week, then 3 times a week. Now we are postponing to organize them 3 or even 4 times a week. We are making these 6-day camps every week. So we are starting to make it more and more, because more and more people are giving their requests to join camps and to get our help.
I would like to add some statistics to Maria's words. When we launched the project, we expected the great social demand for it, but we could never imagine that, like, in 5 minutes, our online registration system will receive about 100 requests. So this is very...
the first time you did a 6-day camp? Is that the first time that you did a 6-day camp?
It was the first time we announced about about our project, that we are doing family camps, and we received those applications, and we were like, wow, so many work to do, so many people we can help.
Do you get help from psychologists or psychiatrists who are from outside Ukraine, who have experience of war in other parts of the world?
We do get such kind of help, but we can't afford ourselves to involve these abroad specialists to work with our children, mothers, and all Ukrainians, because there is such a language barrier. So we involve them in our work in other way. They make some trainings, they make some learning courses for our psychologists, psychotherapists. They tell about their experience, about their approaches, methodics, and in such a way we help our Ukrainian psychologists and psychiatrists and psychotherapists to improve their level, to get some new information, and to be better in their work by helping Ukrainians.
So do you have more people wanting to come to the camps than you can give places to? Yeah. So you need to expand. You need to have more people helping you, and you need to have more camps, I suppose.
Yeah,
Maria, could you tell me about the UKME project and the platform a little bit? Because you don't meet people, you're not sitting opposite somebody. You're doing it via a platform.
Yes, but nowadays, I guess online therapy is already normal for people. And for Ukrainians today, it's even very useful because we are living in not stable conditions. And normally it's more safety to stay at home and get your consultation through your notebook or your smartphone, and not going out somewhere and looking for some good place to visit your doctor. So UCare platform was created to help all the Ukrainians. Doesn't matter where they live, doesn't matter if they are refugees or IDPs or they stay in their native cities, yes, to get professional help from Ukrainian specialists. We have gathered, well, I may even say the best specialists in Ukraine, because we have assigned such memorandums with Ukrainian associations, professional associations of psychologists and psychotherapists. All these associations are under umbrella of European professional psychological associations, and they send to us their specialists who are under supervisions, under interventions, who are involved in ethical committees of these organizations. So when we work with our specialists, we know that we'll get the highest level of therapy that can be found in Ukraine for today.
Excuse me, Maria, but how does it work for somebody who wants to talk to a therapist? Is it via a chat, or how does it work? If you're somebody who wants to use the platform, how do they do it?
It works actually very quickly in 1-2 steps. First, this person opens the platform in internet in his browser. He clicks, I want to get a consultation, and writes down his request, what is bothering him, what is his pain, what is his trauma. After that, this request comes to us. The system matches the best psychologist for him, psychologist or psychotherapist, and in 24 hours, this psychotherapist connects to the client and asks him what is the best time for them to get first consultation. So for now, every client who is giving a request through the platform can get his first consultation in a day. It's really
very rapid.
Not rapid, I will tell you that it's a good speed of providing services. We haven't had such a good speed at first. It was a little bit slower, but now the system works, I don't know, as a watch, yes. It works automatically good, and we can provide help as quickly as we can. Yes.
And this conversation with a therapist takes place on the platform via chat, or is it?
It takes place through every video chat that is useful
Yes.
for the client. Some clients like to use Telegram, some clients like to use Zoom. We are dependable on technical situation of the client. That is why we can say that you must use only this one way of connecting to your psychologist. So the client says which way would be the best for him in his territory where he stays, yes, and then they use this type of video chat to get to provide the consultation.
And what kind of people? I suppose you don't have very many old people, because very often old people don't know how to use platforms.
Yes, old people take less than 10% of the clients we were working with. The biggest percent, about 20, not 20, 35% is for people who are from 18 up to 25 years, and from 25 years up to 35 years, 30%. So 65% goes for people from 18 to 35 years. It's the main group of people who know that psychotherapy, psychology is good for them. They can overlive their traumas by working with the specialist that is effective, and that will give them a chance to become stable and to start a new life in new conditions and to be productive in Ukrainian society. Because we can say that war will end sometimes, maybe in months, maybe in 6 months. We all want
The sooner the better. Yeah.
Yes, but it doesn't release the problem of stress and of fear and different traumas that are given to people. So it doesn't matter when the war ends, people have to get some help, some mental support to overlive everything they met to and to start their lives as a new life, to start to rebuild Ukraine.
Yes, I suppose some people just can't.
For 20% of people, it's not enough. They need to be in therapy much longer, about a year. But we give them a chance to realize that they can get this help and that it is effective. And after getting this help from our platform, they can find some other kind of help of some private psychologists, psychiatrists, yes, by themselves. But they are starting to believe that it's normal to get the stress, to meet the war, to get some different traumas, but then work with them and overlive them to get normal after that.
Yes, yes. You are the only platform in Ukraine that does this.
Actually, no, there are many platforms, but we are the only platform who gives up to 10 consultations. All the other platforms give only one consultation, just to talk a little, yes. We are the only one platform for today who has such a big range of specialists and who works with associations who are under umbrella. We were organizing this project for a long time. It took about 5 months from us to make all technical processes.
Yeah.
Yes, to gather the specialists, to interview them, to sign up all the documents, to make everything clear, everything legal, and everything methodically right.
Well, it sounds excellent. I mean, the combination of the two things you do seems to cover a wide range of people and problems.
So we started to work with different fonts just by looking who is in the market, who is in Europe, who is in America, what fonts exist. And we started to write down to them, to tell about our projects, what we want to give Ukraine, how we work, send our presentations, and give them all information we can present to make them understand what we are doing. First, actually, one of 1,000 fonts was answering to us and telling, oh, that's interesting, let's start to work, give us more and more information. But for today, we are really proud that all the big funds, as you said, as UNICEF, as I don't know, Marshall Fund, People in Need, who else? Searching volunteers, they are working with us. And we aren't looking for this Zoom, for this meeting for a long time. We just write to them. We say who we are, and they say, oh, yes, we know, we have heard about you. Let's start to talk, and maybe we'll we'll find the right way to connect and try to help Ukrainians together. But it's a long and it's a very difficult process. It's always not enough, because 1,000 consultations for us costs about $33,000. So we can't stop in raising money, because we know that that we have still many Ukrainians. It's not thousands, it's millions who need this help and who can get this help by paying themselves. So we have a big department of fundraisers who every day till 9 up to 8 p.m. are working by finding new funds, writing to them, calling them and telling who we are and how we can cooperate in our work. We are not only looking for money. Money is the main thing, yes, because we have to pay our psychologists, psychiatrists, psychotherapists, because this is such area of providing services where people can't work freely. On the second place, after money, we also look for some informational support, for some organizational support, for different types of support, because our project, to be honest, it's a huge project. We have a huge number of people who need help. We have a big team. We have to make this team a little bigger, because we are taking more and more requests every day. We have to improve the knowledges of our subspecialists. We have to improve the knowledges even of our managers, fundraisers, to help them work better. We have to improve knowledges of our project managers who coordinate these projects, because without professional coordination, the project can exist, as you know, yes? So we need different types of resources to provide that services we were chosen as our goal.
Yes, and if people want to give money or in some way participate?
There are contacts of our administration on the website. They can open the website, just look on the phone number or on the email and write down what they want.
Anything else you wanted to say that is important?
We want to say that we are very thankful that you want to talk to us and want to tell your people about the activities we are providing today in Ukraine, what we are doing, because every kind of help is very useful and very important for us today.
Скільки можна було? Один рік,